happening, everyone? Hello, and welcome to the Review Roulette Podcast, the podcast that brings strangers together for a movie night. I'm your host, Lora. Join me as I bring two strangers together as we watch and review a randomly selected movie. Now let's spin that wheel and see what movie Lady Luck has picked for us tonight. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Review Roulette. Today we're going to be watching Watership Down, which is Rainey's fault, and we'll bring her on and she can tell us why we're watching this movie. I have traumatic memories about this movie, and then after today I was reading the synopsis just to refresh myself, and I realized that I was combining this movie with three other movies all at the same time, and then I just had somehow slipped my fear of rabies in there. I was pretty sure I was convinced the dog had rabies that bit the bunny. Nick's never seen this movie, so you'll know what we mean later.
Don't spoil the sweet bunny violence.
Yeah, there's a lot of bunny violence. But yeah, I laughed because when I was looking this up on Amazon, it does say children, this is in the child category, but Plague Dogs is in the action adventure. Which is by the same author. But yeah, I remember I could rent this at the library, or is it still renting? Check out. I could check this cartoon out, and I was all excited. So I've probably seen this a bunch of times, but I have not seen Watership Down in 20 years. We named our stream the Iliad and the Rabbit Sea, and Nick was wondering why, and I'm like, this is pretty much a Greek tragedy, but with rabbits, I guess would be a horrible way to explain it. But Nick, can you tell us what Watership Down is about?
All right. Watership Down came out in 1978, hoping to escape destruction by human developers and save their community. A colony of rabbits led by Hazel and Fiver seek out a safe place to set up a new warren. And this is directed by Martin Rosen and written by Richard Adams. Obviously, yeah, I was going to say, obviously that's who wrote the book. And Martin Rosen is known for Watership Down, Plague Dogs, and Smooth Hawk. He was a producer.
That definitely does not fit the theme.
And then it stars John Hurt, who plays Hazel, and he's known for 1984, The Elephant Man, and Alien.
Nice.
And then the stars Richard Briers, who plays Fiver, and is known for Watership Down, the 2003 Peter Pan, and Much Ado About Nothing.
That's my favorite Shakespeare play.
And then Michael Graham Cox, who's Bigwig as Michael Graham Cox.
I'm guessing they're hyphenated, so they have to put a different spelling in there,
okay.
maybe.
And he was Watership Down. It was Boromir in the Lord of the Rings cartoon, and Bridge Too Far.
Oh, can you click on the Lord of the Rings cartoon? I can't remember who made that. I think that's the same person that did Wizard.
Ralph Bakshi.
Yeah, Bakshi. Yeah, that was another weird anime. This, I remember I watched this movie, and then Animal Farm was another cartoon that I liked, and that made me realize that cartoons don't just have to make to sell you toys.
Did the Nimoy song come out before the animated movie?
I think the Bilbo.
Well, I know this is Lord of the Rings and not The Hobbit, but
yeah, I think that came up before.
The Hobbit.
I don't know. I'm not. You're making me feel bad for not knowing my Leonard Nimoy facts right now, Nick. I'm sorry. Oh, well, Nick is looking up the Bilbo Baggins song and when it came out. We'll bring on Rainey and she can tell us why she's making us watch Watership Down.
Because it's the greatest movie of all time.
What is it? You saved your allowance up so you could buy it? Is that what you had said?
Yeah. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with Astro Boy, and I used to buy the VHS tapes of that every single time I got enough money. And then one day I'm in the shop and I'm like, oh, look at this cartoon rabbit thing. And I'm like, I'm going to get this. And then I got it. I'm like, wow, this is cool.
My life has been changed by Fiverr.
I had a complete opposite reaction to most kids who saw this. It would be absolutely
yes, you did. I was so excited for this to be this amazing happy bunny story. And I'm like, this is weird.
And look at all the blood, guts, and gore.
I was like, there's so many dead bunnies. Yeah, that's because I think last time we had you on, we were talking about all the different movies that have essentially people stories, but with animals. I guess what's your favorite?
I think Watership Down is probably my favorite animal cartoon sort of movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the cliche would be called. It'd be the anamorphic animal. Yeah.
Yeah. There was another cartoon that came out in the 90s, I think, called The Animals of Farthing Wood. which is very similar to this, and it's also a British story about animals leaving their home, but this time it's like a whole bunch of different animals, and they're on a journey to find a park where they can all be safe together because they're all protected there.
Oh.
And there's just as much death in that. And that was a kids' cartoon show you could watch in the afternoon after school.
I think one time, like, me and Nick went on a weird YouTube journey, which was just watching like cartoon intro music, and I think that was one of the ones we saw. And we're like, "What is this?"
Yeah, it's very memorable, the music.
This looks interesting, but I think it was like happy sounding music. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and then you watch it, and then like I think the pheasants get shot in the first few episodes or something. You're like, oh.
Delicious pheasant meat. Oh my goodness. Well, have you so after watching it, did you go read the books or anything, or have you?
Yeah, actually, I got tricked because I was at the bookstore and the Tales of Watership Down had just come out, and that was actually a sequel that was written like way later, released in the 90s. And I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's the book. So I got it, and I'm like, this isn't the book.
Yeah, I think when I was reading, like when I was looking into it today, that came out 16 years after, and it's the most recent thing that I can't remember if he has passed away or not, but it's the most recent thing that he has written was that story. But I guess I think he was trying to be like Tolkien, where it's just like he wanted to put some deep rabbit lore into rabbit. I might be making a video that has a bit of that lore from that book because it's actually just as disturbing as the original. But there's some like even more out there stuff about bunny lore and gods and like weird eldritch abominations. It's really weird. Because I like I said in the beginning, I think I had combined this movie into a bunch of other movies because I was just like, oh yeah, because like I thought the farmer's dog that comes later had rabies. So essentially I put like Cujo this and the rest of him like all together. And so I was just like, oh yeah, because I don't know. I had a horrible fear of rabies as a child. Like I was just like, I think I was told that like, what is it? So in 2004 was the first person who's ever survived rabies. So when I was little, that was before then. So it's just like, if you get rabies, you die. And I grew up on a farm. So it's just like, yeah, if you get rabies, you're screwed. So it's just like, I just put rabies into everything. So I'm like, yeah, Watership Down has rabies. I was like, it's a horrible fear of, I still kind of have horrible rabies. Do they have rabies in Australia?
I have no idea, but I do know in the Tales of Watership Down they bring up the topic of what's that one called, the myxomatosis or something, the white blindness where they they bring that up and they talk about that, and I was like, oh, that's terrible. But I know they've definitely used that here in Australia to eradicate the rabbits.
Oh, it's so sad because it's like and like when I was reading it too, I didn't realize there were like a lot of like Greek tragedy and Greek stories that were trying to I guess it would be interesting to read like the book that you read because it sounded like he was trying to put a bunch of stuff. Like I think there was even a language that he had developed for the rabbits called like lupine, and I was just like, there's just a lot going on.
Because they got words to mean like to go above ground to eat food, because you can't just say that in one big mouthful. I mean, the rabbits would have one word for it basically.
You're like, you're like, okay.
I think it's going to souffle, and that's it.
It's like souffle, like we go eat the egg pastry. Oh goodness. But yeah, I guess this whole, I don't even remember how this all came about. I know it was like a monstrosity stream, but I don't know how.
I think he was trying to talk about General Woundwort or something in a really weird way, and then we were like, let's go watch the movie.
Yeah. And our other guest was there, and that's why I was like, we need Mr. Spellness, your Spellness. But yeah, I guess we could bring Alex in. But what's happening?
Well, I've got some news for you because I have no webcam tonight. How's it going?
What's happening? How's your day?
It's all right. I like you brought me in. You were you transitioned from the monstrosities talk earlier, like a couple seconds earlier. You were talking about Greek tragedies, and I figured that's probably that would have been the better introduction. I think, considering I'm Greek.
I was going for that, and I was like, wait, no.
I'm Greek, and I'm a total tragedy. So it felt appropriate.
So have you seen this movie? I remember you were all excited about it when we were like all talking about it in Matt's stream. That's why I was like, I'll have Alex.
Yeah, I feel like I saw it in high school. I don't remember if I saw it like for high school, like for a class or something, or if it happened to be during high school. I smoked a lot of pot back then, so my memory is like kind of hazy. But like, yeah, I only saw it once, and it was just what an experience, man. What an experience just watching it, thinking like, oh my God, so many traumatized children probably watch this movie. And like, because you're talking about the rabies, and it's like, Yeah, man, like just that shot, that iconic shot is just like forever burned into my brain.
I think that's even the shot that's on the cover is like the shot right
Is it
before.
really?
Where the rabbit's going.
Yeah, it's like this, and then it's like the silhouette of Fiverr, who's like on the end of that. And I was just like, why?
Yeah.
Why would you do
God.
this?
Oh man.
There's so many, like, I guess that was one of the things I was thinking about today is like there's not really a lot of I feel it's so hard to be like adult cartoons and not just have it be like, oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. But like it seems like there's not a lot of like adult themed cartoons like there was back in the day, because it's like I remember watching like Animal Farm, and
Yeah.
there's the one that's like the Nazi cats. That's all about, which I can't remember the name of the Nazi cat one.
Was that Fritz the cat?
No, like there's Fritz the cat, and then there's like the Wizard, which is another one that I think that one has a lot of like Nazi idolite, like.
Oh yeah, with Fred Savage, right?
Yeah, and so it's just like all these weird things where it's just like I feel like there's not really that type of cartoon anymore, where it's just like.
Yeah, that's kind of a big thing in the animation community. Is a lot of people they're not happy about how, like, you know, when it comes to like adult animation, it's kind of like very samey. It's very much like that kind of like Seth MacFarlane kind of style, like very stiff animation, and it's all just like crude, like, you know, humor, like, you know, slice of life kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because I remember watching, like, I think I saw Animal Farm that was on PBS one night, like on our Iowa Public Television had like Animal Farm. I'm like, oh, it's this cartoon. I'm like, oh God, what is this?
Uh-oh.
Like, is this socialism or communism? Like, I guess it's a little bit of both, but it's like, it was weird to think that like, oh, they used to make like these cartoons that represented what was going on. And it was almost like a Star Trek episode where it's just like, you think this is like this far off distant thing, but it's really here all along. It's like, oh, so I feel like, I guess I don't know too much about like what's going on in like anime with like Japan, which I'm sure that has more adult things going on, but it's just.
Yeah, that's also like there's like a cultural thing with that too, where it's like what, like if we have stuff here that ends up being like localized, like it's treated as like a kid's thing, but like over there like they'll have like some of like the language and stuff like would be kind of seen as, you know, inappropriate here. You know, I'm gonna go off of my you know, in the spirit of my avatar right now, but when they had the Sonic X anime, there's like a point where Sonic just flat out says shit. But I mean, it's the Japanese version, but like that's, you know,
that's
like
right,
yeah, just like in English he just says shit. That's like, yeah, we probably can't have that on Foxbox Saturday mornings on channel whatever that was.
Oh, my husband's favorite thing is what is the Mario thing where he's just like, fuck you, Luigi. He's like, fuck you, Luigi. I was like, this is on TV. He's like, yeah, this is on Saturday morning cartoons. I was like, it didn't like get caught. He's like, nope. He's like, fuck you, Luigi. It's like, how did that?
I don't know. That's pretty in character for Mario.
That should be the standard. Like, you can swear as long as it's very true to character.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, some sweet rabbit on rabbit. Oh,
that picture I posted, it looks very happy.
The happy, yeah. No,
I mean, there's the main one, but the other one I saw immediately.
The main one looks like there's like a silhouetted rabbit that has a necklace on, and then I guess they made the Netflix one. Nick's looking through pictures right now. Yeah, it's just.
Probably shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Probably gonna get some sweet spoilers.
Yes.
There's an angry bunny with a scratch on his nose.
There's a scratch. Oh, okay. So I guess Swell, what's your favorite? Because you're both Alex.
Yeah. I could be Swell. It's fine. Swell's good.
There's Rainey and Swell. It's just like
just ignore Alex altogether.
Yeah, that works.
It's funny because I think you're like the only two Alexes that we know, but everybody else is either named Matt or has a name that starts with A. And I was just like, I can't take this anymore. We had one episode where it was like Andrew and Andres, and I'm like, I'm gonna just combine both of your names and then just drunkenly get through all this watching Star Wars. Oh, The Last Unicorn. That was another sad one that I watched as a child.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, Nick's just scrolling through them. There's so many different. I don't know. Because I keep thinking of like I want like an animated show that I want to like relate to. And I keep thinking that they make like Madagascar or something that I watch where it's just like, oh yeah, this is for kids, but they had like kind of adult jokes in it where I'm like, oh, this is for like the parents. But it's like, I can't think of the last recent American, like either CG or animation thing that was strictly made for like a mature audience.
I don't know.
Can't think of one.
Like, I keep going back to that Final Fantasy movie, and I know that's probably not a good thing to go back to.
If there's any adult animation now, it's mostly kept to the independent, like, short film sort of scene.
Yeah.
And it makes sense now to do, like, a mixed thing. Just what they usually do.
Oh, wait, what about Sausage Party? That stupid Seth Rogen. I mean, like, I would imagine that counts. It's terrible. It's like one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
I'm
but-
having flashbacks.
Yeah, me too.
I think in my head, I just convinced myself that was a live action thing that had animated sausage. I was just like, no, that's a different thing. I'm like, oh, but yeah, it's just weird to think that there's all these different like older cartoons where like they had a message and that was their way of getting it in.
Yeah.
Was it's like, oh yeah, there's pretty like you want to learn about like death and sadness. Here's the last unicorn. But it's like, oh, it's just weird that like we've gotten away from that, or I don't. It seems like it would be easier. So many people are able to make animations where I feel like there would be something for that. But I don't know. I'm still just putting it off so we don't have to watch this movie because I'm really
Not ready to be.
Come on, Laura, get to it.
I know. I'm sorry. I keep telling you. That's why I have to schedule this for way later because I swear Rainey had this idea like 3 months ago, and I'm like, oh yeah, we could totally watch the Bunny movie.
Maximum procrastination.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I think after learning that I had not like looking through the plot and realizing that I had combined like 4 different movies together, I am a little bit more ready to watch it. But yeah, I seriously thought I'd put like Rabies and Cujo and like there's the one animated movie where it's all little I think we talked about this last the random drink that we bought yesterday. Is that what you're bringing up? Oh, we were at World's Market, Swell.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I like it.
We couldn't find the Rainey beverage, otherwise we would have just put them together.
I get the feeling it'd be very watered down.
Yeah.
That sounds great. It's pomegranate. I don't know. What was it? There was pomegranate and buttered popcorn and like one other flavor.
Yeah.
We're like,
that sounds
okay.
kind of nasty.
Yeah. Yeah. World's Market is kind of a hit or miss place. We're like, I guess we'll get to that. Oh,
we get Hello Kitty sake there.
We did. Yeah, that was a very good order.
Very good.
I drink that.
Nice.
Is it the same bottle? So we decided we were looking through this whole place. We could have gotten an entire Hello Kitty meal.
Yeah.
Because there's Hello Kitty sake, which is this. We could have gotten Hello Kitty pasta sauce, Hello Kitty cake, and then there was Hello Kitty placemats and silverware.
Yes.
And then there was something we could have even had an appetizer. There was some appetizer that was Hello Kitty themed. We're like, oh my God. It was like that one Evangelion movie where it's or video where it's like you could have everything Hello Kitty and just get through the day.
I think they did one for the Fate franchise as well.
Oh God. Like there's so much crap that just makes me want to buy. I'm like, oh goodness. Okay, so we'll get to the movie. I promise we'll watch the rabbit movie. But I guess what are your guys' favorite? I guess Rainey already said this is her favorite. What's your guys' favorite anamorphic animal movie? As in like Fievel Goes West.
Oh,
Nim.
Sonic the Hedgehog doesn't count.
Oh, it totally counts. He's the definition of anthropomorphic.
You have to pick your second favorite.
No, you know what? No, that wouldn't even be my first. No, it would. I completely forgot. But like my 4th favorite movie of all time is The Lion King. So I would say Lion King probably.
Oh yeah, good choice. That's such a normal choice.
It's such a normie thing to say. I know. I get it.
Bitch, you come on.
I know.
I was trying to explain to somebody at work the other day that was Hamlet, and then I felt really dumb that I was trying to explain 2 different really nerdy things to somebody. I'm like, no, it is fine. The Lion King is cool.
Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. I was talking about the 2019 remake. That's my favorite.
I don't believe you.
I like it because okay, so here's the thing. At that time I worked at a movie theater, and somebody like they were playing the trailer for it like on like one of the TVs in the lobby. And like one of the customers asked me like, oh man, like I'm so excited for that. Like, are you gonna watch it? I'm like, no, why would I watch that? And like, and just like, and then I was like asking him like, why do you want to watch it? And he's like, yeah, man, because it's like it's not a cartoon. It's still animated. Like it's still singing warthogs and lions and shit. And it's still just it's hyper realistic animation. Like do you think they filmed that? Like it's not a cartoon. Come on, man.
I would love it if they filmed it. Oh my God.
Cables holding a lion.
Yeah.
It was all on location.
Not eat that warthog.
It was kind of like a Milo and Otis situation. What was that movie? Like where they throw a lion off the cliff. Like that's the Mufasa scene. He just gets thrown right off the cliff.
one of my favorite things as a child was Milo Notice until I met my husband, who was like, they killed all of those animals, right? And I was like,
Oh
no.
man.
He's like, yeah, when they threw that dog off the cliff, there was multiple dogs. I'm like, oh my God, you not Milo Notice.
Nothing is sacred anymore.
Yeah, I almost cried. That was like a tape that my like grandma who had passed away had given me. I'm like, I love Milo Notice. He's like, yeah, like when it's that dog and that bear, multiple dogs for that too. I'm like, how many pugs do they have? They're just throwing pugs at their problems. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that I was like, oh, I hate you. I guess I'll marry you at some point. I guess. Oh. But yeah, I haven't actually back to the Lion King because I haven't seen the new one.
Yeah.
But I feel like that would be a detriment, is like to not have the because they don't animate the faces, do they? Like
No, I mean, well, I never watch it. Like I refuse to watch that movie. Like I'm one of those. Like I'm super like, yeah, I'm gonna boycott this. No, that's the problem, is that like the characters, like their emotions are very human. So the fact that like they're like kind of trapped inside these like realistically rendered animals, like it doesn't work. Like the whole thing does not work. It's so dumb.
There's at least a few videos on YouTube going over the entire thing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like that's not the take of Lion King that I want. Like I can understand Disney's like going through their catalog and kind of like fixing certain things, but I feel like Lion King was not something that they needed to fix. Like
No, it's just like, because I hate that attitude of like, oh, like 2D animation is outdated when it's just it's a stylistic, like it's a different style, you know? Yeah.
Well, they could have even made like a Pixar version of it, and like maybe that I still would have been weird.
Just
but
like either way, I feel like it should have just been left alone. Like it was perfect the way it was.
It's not broken. It's not Dumbo that has like I can understand why they took Dumbo down, because that has some horrible racist crows in it, where it's just like, oh, maybe we should just get rid of that or like take that out. But then it's weird that they were like all about taking all of those things out. But then what is the Splash Mountain is just horribly racist as you're on that log ride going through, and you're like, could we not fix this? Like,
I think they have fixed it.
I think they are. Yeah, they're doing like a Princess and the Frog. Is that what they're doing?
That's a very odd. That's very odd franchise to pick.
Okay, I like that.
Because last time we went through it, we're like, I thought because they were supposed to have fixed parts of it, and they had and so like I can understand them fixing that stuff, because it's like if we had we don't have kids, but it's like I don't want them watching Dumbo because of that, but like I would have no problems with them watching Lion King, because there's nothing, unless I was just blind to some sort of like weird hyena problem that I did not understand. But yeah, it's weird to think that they keep changing stuff. But yeah, Lion King would be a good Hamlet reference. They should make other Disney movies based off Shakespeare plays. We should watch Watership Down. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep it up. You're like, yeah, totally. We could.
You did ask the favorite anamorphic movies.
What's your favorite? I said mine's a Redwall. I don't know if that's a movie, but it's a book and a show, and I love.
I think it's getting an adaptation.
Oh, that would be amazing. I loved Redwall.
I get the feeling I've heard of something going on there.
Are you still looking through Disney?
No, because my problem was, so my favorite was a cartoon, which was Rescue Rangers, but I was trying to think of a movie, and all I could think of is the DuckTales movie, the Lost Lamp one.
I know, like anything. You can say Rescue Rangers.
Then I will just go with Rescue Rangers.
Yes, Rescue Rangers.
Nice.
Is great.
You did mention Sonic, though.
I'm pretty sure Sonic will be mentioned quite a bit.
Yeah, there's a quota we have to meet for sure.
My most thing is I still want to see the original version of Tails.
With all those teeth?
With all the teeth.
I think they kind of confirmed that Tails was like a last minute thing, so he wasn't even designed back then. Yeah.
But that would have been amazing if people
I don't know if I'd use the word amazing.
Amazing.
That just makes me the last movie that we saw in the theater was Sonic.
Nice.
We have not seen another movie since then.
And like a lot of people are saying, the next movie you see when we go back to theaters is going to be Sonic 2.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, because Sonic was really good.
Yes, I was.
It was decent. I liked it.
I'm glad I can say my last one was now Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah. How dare you live in a country that handled this better than ours? How dare you? But
Speaking of bad gas explosions, let's start the movie.
Oh, okay. Nick, we'll watch The Rabbit.
Is there gas explosion?
I feel like that just is a horrible fart joke that you were trying to make work with The Rabbit.
Well, I don't know anything about the movie. I'm just trying to start the movie.
I don't want to spoil anything for you, Nick, but there's not horrible gas explosions in Watership Down.
Rats.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Maybe in like The Secrets of Nim. But one of the things I did learn is Watership Down is, or Watership, I think, is it Watership Down? Watership Down is a real hill that is in England.
Oh.
Yep. It's a
Is
real
it
place.
Is it Watership or Watership Down is the name of the hill?
It has to be called Down or something. Hang on, let me look it up.
Does down mean a hill in the UK? I don't know. Like, I was very surprised that every place in this book and movie is based off of a very real location.
It's in Hampshire.
Hampshire.
Or Hampshire. I don't know. Australians would pronounce that as Hampshire.
I was very sad that Nick just Googled it and the first thing that came out was the Netflix thing. And I was like, oh.
No.
Yeah. There's Magneto and then the guy from Star Wars and Beast. Who else is in this movie? The guy from Kingsman.
Thank you, Kingsman.
And Lady, who is Clover. Fine, we'll start this movie. I can't put it off. It's been 33 minutes. I can't put off this movie anymore. No.
We had enough troubles last week when we were trying to watch Godzilla versus.
So after that, I swear I'll start watching them. We're gonna watch Watership Down now. And then, but yeah, after that, I started screen capping or like screen recording all of the Godzilla movies, so we don't have any of that problem anymore.
Nice.
And I don't.
Good.
Yeah, we were trying to watch Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, and I had the DVD, and I didn't realize I'd owned that DVD for like 12 years, and it would scratch to shit. It just didn't play anymore.
Stop playing.
It just gave up. It's like no more.
I ended up having to play it.
Yeah, and that's like one of the crappy DVDs. That's like the double-sided ones, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That one, yeah.
And I've had that. I tried to even find it. Like I couldn't find it on eBay to buy it again because it's bad.
Yeah.
Let's see. When the wind blows. Oh, that was another cartoon that I had watched that
Oh, I think I had the book of that when I was a kid.
where it's like
Like
the post-apocalyptic grandma and grandpa story.
Yep.
I had completely forgot about it, but it's like, hey, did you like this depressing rabbit movie? Do you want this depressing old people apocalyptic movie? It's like, yes, I guess I do. Okay, we're just going to go watch the movie now, and we'll be right back here for our review in part 2 in just a second. But just so you don't feel left out, here are some choice clips from us watching
I missed
the
that.
movie.
What was that? Was that a reef?
It looks like a blunt.
Yeah, smoking the reef over here.
The field, it's covered with blood. Blood? Let me see.
He's mad tripping right now.
Oh.
Got a contact high.
Oh, no.
Jesus Christ.
Captain Holly, it's me. Big
I don't like this guy. He's kind of a bummer.
I found you.
Yeah.
I found you. He's been hurt. Look at that wound on his shoulder.
It looks the same as the ones on his face and his butt.
I saw it coming. But what happened? Warren.
I think this is the part that really got kids.
Men came, filled in the burrows. Couldn't get out. There was a strange sound. You see, the air turned
What
bad.
the fuck?
Runs blocked with dead bodies. You couldn't get out. Everything turned mad. Warren, earth, roots, grass.
I don't like it.
All pushed into the air.
Is that humans? Is that leprin for humans?
A for Frenzo is a burrow.
Oh.
It's Rabbit Stalin.
Oh. Hello. I feel like it's lying to us with this hopeful music.
Yeah.
That's it, Hazel. That's where we have to be.
We need
Yeah,
to
this kinda
look at the
sucks.
timelines.
Jesus, so steep.
No, for real though, this music's like, and everything will be okay.
Yes. Oh my God.
This is the end of the movie.
Yes.
It's like a Homeward Bound.
You shut up about Homeward Bound.
What?
It's like the least sad animal movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying the music. It sounds
It
like that,
does.
where it's like, oh, everything's
Go, Pipkin.
Come on, Pipkin.
little pipkin lungs.
I have asthma. I have asthma.
We've got the rabbit inhaler for you at the top of the
Oh, that would be adorable.
Look! You can see the whole world!
We could just stop now, and it would be great, right? Like,
I mean, we've already had 2 disturbing scenes.
I found a burrow, Hazel, under that beach hanger, with a great hall and no smell of death or disease.
great.
That's a plus
Made
for
it
sure.
all for us.
Frith may have made it, but Thyfer found it.
That's what we thought when we bought our house. We're like, you know what? No smell of death or disease.
Did you find anything on your flight? Can you guide us?
Looks like he's watermelon seed plucker.
Yeah.
Get away, blast you!
No one expects the
Get away!
pelican.
Damn white birds!
No, a pelican would be absolutely terrifying. Just to see that. I mean, you ever seen those videos of the pelican like eating an entire pigeon?
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Oh, it's scary.
Straight ahead.
Is
Wait.
it pelicans that like put their spine out of
Keep
their
going,
mouth
it's a
to
friend.
cool down?
Yeah, they like, pull back and put the bill like over their neck or something. It's really weird.
Is he? Oh, he's a seagull, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like in a Home Alone.
Yeah.
Going down the
It's
river.
just a paint can.
Behind me. Where do we go, Hazel?
And then
I
Remember what-
trust
he's
you.
electrocuted and you see his little bloody skeleton.
Now.
Oh,
Did he just die?
He died of
Yeah.
old age.
Oh, okay.
this was 2 years later.
He lived a long life of 5.
All the world will be your enemy. Away from here.
Have you guys seen the
All of
sequel to
us.
this movie?
Away. The whole one.
Yes,
There's
before
a
it's too
sequel?
late.
Yeah, Fiverr Goes West.
Silly. I think you're out of your
How
mind.
dare!
It was lovely having you on.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Let's get started with part 2, shall we? But first, if you'd like to be a guest on the Review Roulette podcast, just sign up at our website. It's www.reviewroulettepod.com. That's www.reviewroulettepod.com.
I was going to say that was Plague Dogs. It was not Plague Dogs. Watership Down. Which I could say, I felt like, I think Swell said this like halfway through. I felt like this movie was just going to come like crashing back to me. It did not the
Yeah.
entire time. I was just like, oh, I'm going to, and then when the bunny started dying, it did. But when I think Rainey, you said like one of the things was like the bunny went up in the air and it didn't come back.
Yep. Yep.
I have a very vivid childhood memory of we had a dog, a collie named Dolly, who was the sweetest dog that you would ever see. And then one time she got a hold of a bunny and she shook it so hard to kill it that parts of it were up in trees.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
Yeah, I remember being like, I think I was 10 and I had to climb up a tree in our front yard to get parts of the bunny down
Mhm.
because it was just weird because it's like there's this thing that you like, this dog that you love and it's the kindest thing, and then you just see this like bunny in its mouth. It's just like, yes, bunny, yes, bunny, yeah. Oh
Yeah, you
And
gotta forget that they're animals sometimes.
yeah, that was a weird thing about this. I would say out of any of the anthropomorphic, I know I'm saying it wrong, that's my cliche, it's
Okay.
anthropomorphic movie. I feel like this is the one where I forgot that they were bunnies the most. I don't know if it was that it felt like it was just one British man that voiced all of them. Even I distinctly know it was many. But every once in a while I kind of faded into being like, oh, these are just people, and then it's like, oh no, they're bunnies.
Yeah, you were combining a lot of movies. Like you mentioned Cujo earlier. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the rabies.
Yeah.
I put rabies into so many movies as a child.
It did look like they had rabies when they were like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
the two
it's
were
like-
fighting each other.
Oh yeah.
Big Wig and the crazy one.
I guess Rainey, when was the last time you had seen this movie?
I think it was earlier this year.
Just a few months ago.
I've watched it pretty recently because it was on one of our streaming services, like our local government streaming services. I was like, oh, it's on there. I'm gonna watch it.
gonna watch this. Do you because you read trying to remember what the second book is called. Is it Return
Oh, just Tales from.
Tales from? Do you feel like they could make a movie out of that would help this movie, or is it just like its own thing?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if any of the TV series about it have included them.
Oh,
They probably could make a movie out of Ella Rara's journey, because that's been split up between the two books and what he does there, but that's about it.
Yeah, that was the one thing I really didn't like after reading the synopsis today. I forgot how much it just felt like a weird Greek tragedy, where it's just like, oh yeah, it's like they have to go on this journey, and like each one has a specific trait that they had to this journey, and then it's like then there's like the different Warrens that represent different things, where it's just like, oh yeah, there's like the weird Warren where it's like, hey, if we have more people, then it's less likely that we die because we'll just send them out to be killed. And then I'm trying to remember, is there two different Warrens that have Woundwort? Is that how it's said?
Yeah, Woundwort.
What is he the same faction as the other one that Bigwig was from? He wasn't, right? Because it was a different.
No.
How many Warrens in all is in this?
We saw 4 Warrens. So we had the initial one, which was back where they escaped from and it got destroyed. And then they went to Cowslip's Warren, where all the snares were. And then they went to Watership Down up on the hill. And then they went to Ephrafa, which was by the farm.
Yeah. And that was just to get more ladies, right? Isn't that why
Yeah.
they went? Yeah. Which is a weird Yeah, I just remember reading the synopsis and thinking that Hazel was the girl's name. And I'm like, oh, so there's this one couple. And then they need to find more ladies. And I'm like, no, Hazel is very much a male gendered term for bunnies, where it's just that I guess so Nick, you hadn't seen this ever.
No.
What did you think of Bunny Watership Down?
Bunny Watership Down?
Yeah.
I really liked it.
You did?
Yeah. I mean, you guys did all tell me like, oh, there's a lot of it would have been funny if I didn't know there was violence. If I want to see someone see it that doesn't know, and you're like, oh, here's this cute animated movie.
Yeah, it's a good experiment.
You have to show it to a kid that would have never heard of it before.
I mean, even if you tell somebody there's like bunny violence, it's like, what do you expect? Like, like one bunny to be like, I'm gonna shank you and just pull out like.
Well, they're gonna have like put on little boxing gloves and punch each other.
Oh, that would be great.
I was actually enjoyed watching the bunnies of the little journey, like their homeward bound type journey, and I do like the animation too. I think that held up pretty well.
Yeah,
like the way all the different animals moved.
Yeah, that's what like I said before. Like I was really surprised, like it didn't come like flooding back to me, because it's like I felt like it's very distinct looking. Like I can't think of anything else. I mean, it kind of looks like Plague Dogs, but essentially it's the same company and the same people that made it. But it's like just the way that it looks like a weird watercolor dream coming to life.
And that this came out in 78, I guess I expected the bunnies to be nonstop, like hopping across the screen, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then like get up and then down and just hop across again. But they were actually like head bobbing around and stuff.
Or like Bugs Bunny walk.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. Like I felt like they actually like understood how like the animals moved that went along with it. Oh.
It definitely was all about bunnies trying to reproduce though. But I mean, it makes sense.
I mean, that's what human movies are about as well.
No, yeah, that is true.
It is just funny where there's like, we need more ladies. We'll go break out those ladies.
They have 2 attempts at a jailbreak and they failed one.
I just can't believe I didn't realize that baby bunnies, baby bunnies.
That's what they should be called. Just little buttons.
No, more than kittens.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's strange.
How many kittens are there in a usual? Is it still a litter then? How many?
Yeah, it's still a litter.
Is it the amount? Like, because I know like when cats have kittens, it's like 6 to 7. Is that the same as bunnies? Like, do they have like?
No. Well, if I remember right, because the bunny counting system, they only know how to count up to 4.
Is that because they only have 4?
Yeah, and so Fiver's name is actually a weird coincidence. His real name in Bunny is like Hereru, which means like little, and Herer means too many to count.
Oh, because he was the
runt. He was the runt, so he was the 5th one of the litter.
Oh, because I distinctly remember him being the main character. It was just weird to not have that remembered. Yeah. I guess he kind of is, but it's more the other one. It's more the one that I thought was the lady bunny. But yeah, it was just weird to watch. I swear I've seen this movie, but I feel like I hadn't, like, the whole time watching this.
1 to 14.
1 to 14 baby
but on
bunnies.
average 6.
Oh, so it is just like
Oh,
like 6.
yeah.
God.
And in the wild, the average lifespan is 1 to 2 years. Where in captivity, it's 8 to 12.
8 to 12. So 1 to 2 or to 8 to 12.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So when the black bunny came to get him, he was the ripe old age of like 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that explains why they moved so fast when they were doing all their plans.
They're just like, shit, we gotta go.
It's like Bigwig was in and out in like one day.
That would be funny if this whole movie took over. Like the whole time span of this movie was like 2 days.
Yeah.
I think the movie actually took place maybe over like a couple weeks.
Oh, I mean, that makes sense.
It feels like it.
It's like epic. That would be like if The Hobbit took place over a week and a half. You're like, we made it to Mordor. Oh, you just keep looking at cute bunny pictures now. Yeah, I'm still surprised that they were kittens. Oh, yeah. I guess. Well, when was the last time you said you saw this movie? It was like a long ass time ago.
Yeah,
right?
I want like it had to have been like 12 years ago or something.
Was it the same for you? Was like when it was like the bunny violence? Is that when it came back to you? Or
That
did it never
yeah,
come back
that
to you?
part because like I was saying before, like that's like just like burned into my brain. But like everything else I did not remember. Like even like the whole like music number in there where they have like this like a different like animation style. It's like all like Fantasia or like the pink elephants thing all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh, how do I not remember this? I don't know. But I was really thrown off just because like I don't remember there being all this like lore, like this bunny lore. Like they're talking about like, oh yeah, like the F referents are here, and I'm like, oh shit, elephants, those are huge. Like you guys are fucked. You guys are fucked.
This is a whole different movie, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Like you guys are saying too, like the animation actually I think really does hold up. It has a really unique style, and like everything, like some of the animal movement almost feels like it's rotoscoped, which means like, you know, like when they like trace over like actual like footage and stuff, and like yeah, like a lot of it was like pretty, like it was almost kind of like uncanny. And we were talking about the Jar Jar seagull in the movie. The guy that just like evaporated into the moon.
Yeah.
I have to go now. My planet.
Yeah, my planet.
Keha died on his way back to his home planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when like the rabbits like go from like the sitting position to the upright position. Like I felt like that was animated very well.
Yeah.
Or like even their little like front paws, like it was just very believable to be like, oh yeah, like it was weird. Like I totally bought that they were like, this movie is a weird experience. Like I don't know if I can ever like convey that through an audio thing where it's just like, you know, they're rabbits, even though it's a weird animation style, and you could totally buy that they're rabbits, but then you could totally buy that this is like a human problem or human experience.
Yeah.
Like it's such a weird, like I'll have to rewatch Plague Dogs and feel like that if that's how I feel during this, but I feel like this was so weird. Like I haven't had a movie where I watched something and like felt like I experienced something as opposed to just watching something where it's like I feel like I was a rabbit at some point in time. I can totally relate to these rabbits, because otherwise if I wasn't a rabbit, how can I understand what these rabbits are going through? Like this is such a weird trippy thing that I remembered being far more violent than it was, and it was very violent. Weird.
Yeah, it's not nearly as violent as what you think it was in, you know, like, as the years have gone by after you've seen it.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't know, like what if like I'm wondering if like I ever like look like outside or like in like someone's yard and I just see like two rabbits like confronting each other, like like staring at each other, and then all of a sudden they get on their hind legs and just like slash at each other. You were talking about that where it's like it's literally like they have like velociraptor claws where like you see like the wounds on them, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, rabbits really do have sharp claws though. I mean, it's like
Do
a
they?
dog. You don't expect a dog to have sharp claws, but they do.
Yeah, I just heard a rabbit for the first time recently in like a video. Like I'm like, oh yeah, like I figured they made noise, but like this thing was like screaming.
Yeah, rabbit scream is really
It's
scary.
Oh dude, yeah, and they're all like they all sound British. It's fuck. I don't know.
Weird movie. Oh.
Well, now you know why Woundwort had the Stalin system going.
Yeah. That's just such a weird thing too.
The weird scene where it had like there's like the three female bunnies. They're like, they had the holes and they had the males sitting there, and they had each of them.
Each one of them like went in.
They went in and then had the male one going after. I'm like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something like as a kid you wouldn't quite understand, but as an adult you're like,
Like,
okay,
oh.
I guess.
He's got his sex dens there, or whatever you want to call them.
Well, I think she had
Sexuals?
said that they were overcrowded. Like
Yeah.
they had feared having more
Children,
kittens
yeah.
because of overcrowding, which is that was it's a weird movie. And it's weird that they thought that they had to like, instead of making just a movie about what was going on, like, oh, if we just have rabbits represent how we feel about what's going on, then it's okay because they're rabbits. Oh, but I guess, and then one of the things, so I know you said, Rainey, not to like acknowledge that the Netflix thing had happened. Did you see it?
No,
Like,
I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay. I was wondering like what the thing was that like made you not want to see it.
The animation looks really weird, like really weird. Like just, I don't know, the style of it really puts me off.
You're like, I need some. Oh, and Nick's looking up now. Well, yeah. It's just. I feel like that's another thing that like maybe doesn't need to be. Oh, yeah. It's just like it's just like the fucking Lion King. Oh, that looks creepy. Not that long ago. It looks like some PlayStation 3 graphics.
Yeah.
That is some Xbox 360 rabbits.
Yes, that is.
That is going on right there. Oh.
It looks like the characters. It just looks weird.
I gotta look this up.
It is interesting.
Oh, yeah. Oof. Oh, I think
I guess that's another thing, just like Lion King, where it's like maybe the style of it is something that is intrinsic to that thing. Where like, oh yeah, Lion King should work if I just make real lions. It's like, no, it's the animation style that makes it what it is. Where it's just like you can't make it.
It looks like the bunnies, but it just definitely
Jesus
looks like.
Christ, what is that?
What is what?
That one.
That?
I think the one in the back on the left is Silver because he's got those weird eyes. Bigwig's face is just wow. What's going on there?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh my god, yeah, this really does look like the Xbox 360 PS3 era.
Yeah, like I feel like
graphics here.
I am that bunny trying to go. Oh, that is something.
I
That
feel like
probably-
they're about to move like robots or something.
Might have accidentally Bing searched it, but there was a
Oh.
hilarious image from me doing that.
What is that? They all have weird smiles.
Oh my god! Oh wow, that's
Yeah, that's what I
scary.
was looking at. Like, what the hell, man? Is
Oh.
this
What?
Woolworth or whatever his name is?
Yeah, I
It looks
feel
like
like the
Moonboard,
art
but
style for this
Ooh,
really inflects. Oh wow!
wow, that's terrifying. That's like even more terrifying than the actual TV, like
Yeah.
the movie itself. Oh my god!
Like an epic
Yeah.
battle scene for that.
Yeah, I feel like that's something where they didn't quite understand where like the art style was very much a part of
Yeah.
what it was, and that maybe they shouldn't have touched it. I think that's what I said. Because I remember last time you said like the Netflix thing you didn't like, but it's like the Petit Prince, the Little Prince. That was another thing that Netflix had remade that was like intrinsic to my childhood, where I'm like, you should not have touched that. That was my favorite thing as a child, and then Netflix was like, "Oh no, it's the Little Prince." I'm like, "Just don't touch my shit, man!
Oh,
Don't come
There,
after me."
there was another TV show as well.
I think there was that was on PBS, right? That, or for me that was. Do you have the other one? So that's the TV.
The Netflix one was 2018.
Netflix is 2018. There's an animated series, which I believe was like early 90s.
yeah, these look really like anthropomorphized.
Yeah, it looks more Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Oh, and apparently the style even changed as it went on.
Oh, really?
Was it 2001?
It looks even weirder.
Yeah, it looks about right.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
So I think that was what I had. Oh, is that what I saw first? That might have been what I've seen first.
Oh, this looks like a DeviantArt redraw or something.
It
Yeah.
does.
I like how the one picture Nick just saw was like there's this one holding a carrot. Like, oh, yep. This is what I saw first. I remember watching this on IPTV, and then they had the actual one on. Oh,
Oh my god.
They gave Bigwig a mane.
Yeah, I saw that. Why does he have a full mane?
He went from a toupee to a
He
mane.
has a full mane. He looks like the Cowardly Lion.
It's like he's trying to make up for the front from the top.
He's a comb under.
Oh.
Business at the front, party in the back. In the
Yeah.
back.
Oh. I fully know that this is lizard versus monkey, but would you guys recommend Watership Down?
We went off on a very long tangent. They went for like an hour.
Ooh.
Yes, I always recommend Watership Down.
What was the name
Show
of
it
the
to
bunny
your
that
kids.
like? Yeah, show it to your kids. What was the bunny that like coked up in the movie? What was his name again? Was that
Hazel, right? Hazel is the one that has the premonitions.
No, Five is the one that's the psychic
Fiverr.
bunny.
Oh, keep
Yeah, I feel like maybe if you smoke a little bit of what he was smoking, I feel like you'll get a little more out of it.
That is weird watching it and being like, I feel like if they would have taken that out, it would have been like a weird, more magical experience. But then you're like, obviously that bunny is high. Like
Yeah, so it's Fiverr
Hazel.
and no, I mean, and the girl who has like mini versions of it was like Hazel.
Oh, that's Heisenthal.
Heisen's there.
Yeah, which Rainey says so well, but I swear when I was looking at it, like none of these consonants and vowels should be next to each other.
There's still one that really confuses me, and luckily she's not in the movie, but she's in the book, and it's something like the thinning nang.
That's so
The
weird.
thinning
This
nang.
is like Tolkien level stuff. It's like
yeah.
they're all
Yeah.
funnies.
Oh, any fantasy novel you read, and you're like, yeah, it's just it's like, oh, obviously they never thought anybody would have to like physically say that.
Yeah, they were thinking about the movies back then.
Oh,
The
like,
movie
yeah,
adaptions.
Bilbo, like everybody will totally take Bilbo Baggins seriously. It's like, no. Are you just
Hey.
looking at Long Walk? Why are you looking up a Stephen
No,
King
it
book?
was gonna have something to do with it.
Oh,
There's not a
Nick has a note that he's trying to look up a Stephen King book for. Is it a stupid character name?
no, because I was gonna ask about the book because it reminded me of something, and I forgot to ask that.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Oh, that was your book. You just finished your Stephen King book, which was
I've
like,
got like an hour left.
what is the Hunger Games, but Stephen King?
Yeah, way before Hunger Games. The book is really good, The Long Walk. But I was gonna say because it reminded me of that I'm like, oh, I should do Watership Down next. Should be the next mission.
Oh yeah.
There is a Stephen King connection to Watership Down.
Ooh.
Oh, what is that?
Oh no! In the sequel book, there's a part where the rabbits, where the prince goes into a maze, and there's something in the maze that stalks them, and it feels very, very The Shining.
Oh, that was a weird. One of my favorite bookstore series is the Dark Tower books, where I feel like I'm like, hey, if I'm ever going to be an author like Stephen King, I might just turn myself into God too, which is kind of what he does. Like, you know what? Everything I've written, he has like the MCU before it was cool.
Before it was.
Yeah.
Is very interconnected. Oh, I guess one of the things I would ask Rainey is, after watching this, do you feel like the book that you read, the sequel book, do you feel like that adds to? I feel like I've already asked this, but does it add to it?
Yeah, knowing like all the stories, the LRR stories, that came before this, I think are really good to know because of rabbit lore, and knowing all the Lapine words that they use in the movie as well.
That was a weird thing. Like, essentially, he just was really trying to be Tolkien, kind of at the same time. Where it's just like, you know what? Instead of having Middle Earth, my rabbits have their own language. It's like, oh, I laugh, but like the thought of making my own language for something is just like obscenely difficult. Like I can't even imagine being like, you know what? I'm just gonna be like, gobbledygook means go up to the top side, don't be noticed by humans, and eat, and then come back down. It's just like, oh, such a weird. I guess out of all of the anthropomorphic, it's getting late. It's just turning into a different word now. It's a different genre. I would say this is the only
Animorphs.
one. Animorphs, yeah. Animorphs.
Oh man, that's a throwback.
I would say this is the only one that kind of more acknowledges the animal's behavior along with the human traits. Whereas I feel like all the other ones were like, oh, we're people inside of these animals. Where it's like, oh yeah, this is more people inside of rabbits as opposed to mice that are people. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Or any of the other stuff where it's like Redwall, where it's just like, oh yeah, like the stories of Redwall could easily just be like, you could just take out that they're badgers and mice and it would still read. But I feel like a lot of the stuff in this still wouldn't make sense if you're like, oh yeah, and then we needed to get more women. We need to get more does. You're like, I guess that works after your 1 to 2 year lifespan. Like that, like having that lifespan just like puts a little bit more immediacy. It's like, oh shit, we need some ladies.
Yeah, we need them.
We've got. This is like Logan's Run. Like we've got 6 more months until we're old. Oh
no, that's definitely a good point. Like like the fact that they're rabbits, like that's super relevant and like pretty much like every aspect, like story wise, and then also like just the way that like the characters, like when they're animated, just how they function, like they're not walking on 2 legs, like they're actually moving like rabbits, and it is just like this weird like amalgamation. I know exactly what you're talking about, of like this like amalgamation of like, yeah, you got like, it's almost kind of like a Lion King thing, because like even like those characters, like they move around like the same way, but or like to like mimic like the actual like animal and stuff. Yeah, it's what a trippy, horrifying movie this was, and I learned a lot because I did not know about the whole kitten thing either. So that's yeah.
Or even the bird, where it's like we have to have the bird be significantly different than the rabbits.
Yeah.
Where in anything else, I feel like any other animal would have just been like, oh yeah, it's a badger, but it still looks like a person. Or it's like, oh, it's like I'm trying to think, what's the bird that like likes shiny things? Where it's like, oh, I'm this thing that likes shiny.
It's like
things.
every bird.
Yeah, well, I'm just a person that is like represented by this bird. Where it's like anything else, it's just like no, everything's like. They needed to make that bird as different from the rabbits as they could, but still be relatable to the rabbits.
Yeah.
It was just a weird. I'd say this is probably the most different version of all of those other movies. I just keep thinking of Five Goes West now because we talked about that during the Five Goes West, and then I'm trying to remember the other ones. The Rats or Secrets of Nim,
and then the Rescuers.
Yeah.
What about Land Before Time?
Oh God, why are so many sad childhood animated movies? Oh no! Why did they want to make us cry? Children nowadays have no idea how good they have it. Like we were emotionally scarred by just watching our moms die in various different versions and various different animals. Oh,
in horrific ways.
Yeah. Oh, but did you say Swell? Would you recommend this movie?
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth a watch just because of how trippy it is. It's very interesting.
Yeah, this is a good suggestion, Rainey, because I swear I remember this movie completely different than when we went. And the whole time I'm just like, I was just waiting for it to click back and be like, oh yeah, this is this movie, because I swear I've seen this movie. I know I've seen this movie.
Wait, this isn't Cujo?
Yeah. Oh no. Rabies is a serious thing that I was scared of.
That's fair.
I mean, it wasn't until 2004 that the first person survived of rabies. Otherwise, it was 100% fatality rate. And even now, it's only been 15 people between 2004 and 2021 that have lived after contracting rabies. So rabies is a legitimate scare.
Yeah.
Oh. My main thing is like, I'm pretty sure, I don't remember if it was my dad or my brother, where it's like, it goes to your brain and it kills you. And I just remember somebody telling me that, that was like scariest thing. Cause it's like, not only do I not want to die as a child, but I don't want my brain taken over, where it's like, it's like, oh yeah, it's going to affect your brain. It's going to make you a horrible person and then kill you. It's just like, oh, this is fine. I don't want to be bit by anything ever in my life. And then it's like, and then when you live on a farm, there's constantly things trying to bite you. Oh, it's great. It's great. Nick, would you recommend Watership Down to anyone?
Yes, I really enjoyed it. There's nothing really else I could say about it. I think we talked enough about it, but yeah, it was really enjoyable.
I feel like we talked enough about that and Godzilla.
Yes. I was gonna say, yeah.
I could probably make that a whole different episode. That might be coming up.
I would definitely recommend this. It really holds up.
Yeah, I would say that was
being a movie in the 70s animated. It really holds up.
Yeah,
even more than I would have thought.
I almost think that's why I feel like I didn't remember it, because I feel like the animation style does hold up really well. Where it's just like a weird, like this is going to be a weird gaming reference. I feel like it's like Cuphead, where it's just like, it's a weird thing that is very nostalgic feeling, but modern at the same time. We're like, oh yeah, it's just like going through the motions, and this is what it was. Like the rabbits were very well animated. Like I feel like they were, like it would be interesting to know if they were like animated over another, like a actual rabbit, where it's just like, I feel like the movements, I know you'd brought up like frame rate when you were watching it, where it's like they felt like rabbits. They act like I don't know what rabbits think, but I would imagine if you live 2 years and you just need to make baby rabbits, that's probably how these people would think, where it's just like, fuck, we need to make more baby rabbits. So I would say I would recommend this movie. It was definitely different. What frame rate? Oh, you're looking it up, the animation? Yeah, it was because I'm trying to think when like Animal Farm came out, because this reminds me of Animal Farm like level, but I feel like this was animated better than Animal Farm. Did you find it?
No.
This was also the Criterion Collection, so I don't know at what length they had went to make this better, but this might be more like the Spiral thing, where it's like, I feel like when I was watching this, the parts that I remembered looked how they did. So I would say maybe they did something to it to make it look like that.
I reckon it still looks as good as when I saw it as a kid.
Yeah, like it didn't, and it's weird seeing it how it looks like now, thinking like Netflix was like, you know what, we could make it better. Like no, it looked just fine.
I actually really wonder what I would have thought of this movie had I seen it as a young kid. Because like as a kid, like I wasn't like, I watched like Jaws when I was like 3 or 4 and like was completely fine with that. But like I had like weird fears because fucking, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Disney movie Pete's Dragon.
Yes.
But that movie freaked me out. Like the fucking beginning when there's like a bunch of hillbillies like singing. And like as a kid, I was like, oh man.
Like this stuck with me. Yeah. It's weird the things that stick with you as a child and then stay with you like the rest of your life. Where it's like I feel like I distinctly remember the rabbit violence of this movie. Like I said, I think we said it already, where it's like essentially I was waiting for this movie to like click.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw Big Wig and Mark General, I always think General Mordwick fighting. Like that's when I remember this movie. I remember them fighting. I remember them in the Warren fighting. Where it's just like I remember all these. I'm like I remember the cat. I remember the cat like petting the bunny as it wanted to kill it. And I was just like I just remember all of these things flooding back to me. Where it's like oh yeah, these.
You basically remember the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, and that was the weirdest thing because like the whole I swear like how long is this movie?
It was an hour and 31 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't until 20 minutes till the end of this movie. I'm like, I've seen this. I've seen this movie before, which is weird because I've seen this movie before, and it wasn't until then that it all clicked in. And oh, maybe it was the snare. I think I kind of remembered the snare part where like they had snared the bunny. But I'd be interested to know if the beginning part, like the different animation style, was added in later. Like I don't remember that at all.
Oh no, it's always been there.
Okay, that yeah, I was just like, I don't remember the sad dog making all of the living bunnies dead red bunnies. And I was like, oh,
Yeah, it is this weird way they animated it because it was his first time animating.
oh really?
He didn't know the standard way to do it. It was this whole weird.
Oh,
Despite Rosen's first time as director, he had no experience in animation. So he brought everyone into a dilapidated warehouse. He had all the animators there working in parallel.
Just read that full paragraph.
It was more than usual to have different departments working together in separate elements one another. First, there would be the concept artists and character designers. Then one group of animators would produce line tests. When the full-length line test was completed, then background artists and keyframe animators would move in. They would fill in repeat cells between each main gesture. Then this art would go in and be traced, then traced and paint department for coloring and finishing. Then the artwork would be photographed to produce animated sequences. Yeah, this is this weird.
That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Well, read the first paragraph real quick that you had read, kind of like mumbling. Like he's a first-time director
And had no experience of animation, so by default, he brought a fresh approach to the process. He hired a dilapidated warehouse, appropriately enough, in Warren Street, and had all the animators based there working together in parallel. Which, I mean, guess if you didn't know animation, you just think everyone works at once.
Yeah. But like considering all that, like fuck, like that's like the end result is like pretty fucking solid, all things considered.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's just this weird photographic way they did it. Animation audiences were used in seeing unnaturally large eyes with lots of well, that's just talking about how they drew it. But yeah, it's this weird way they did it because he didn't know.
Would you say they do something all of the eyes?
I was talking about how like different artists would work on it. It's just a whole long thing, but that's basically how they did it. It was like a whole photograph weird setup.
I guess that is another weird thing with this animation is essentially you're supposed to relate. Like they have big bunny eyes.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember like the lip flaps like you would with like most anime. Like I just remember like most of the emotion being conveyed to the eyes.
Yeah.
Like, most of like the last bad Warren had like I remember he just pulled up a picture of the dog that held the dead bunny. I was just like, I just remember that. That's when I put the Cujo in there. It was a weird animation where it's just like I felt like I related more to them through their eyes more than like, oh yeah, they're characters or their mouths. You can't really have a mouth flap when you have like two giant buck teeth in the front where you're like, oh yeah, I think they're saying the things. But yeah, I would say I would definitely recommend this. Yeah. More so, like I'm glad we rewatched this because essentially, like I said, I thought this was like 8 different movies all put together. And it was like Homeward Bound and Old Yeller and all the bunnies died of rabies at the end is what I
Fritz the cat.
And Fritz the cat. No, Fritz the cat isn't sad. That's just Fritz the cat is just straight up porn.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. But yeah, there was Animal Farm. Yeah. See, it's just like I was really glad we rewatched this because essentially it's like I remember this being a lot of different things, none of them being what they were, and I feel like this is a very good representation of like a Greek Odyssey but with bunnies. This is a really good analogy, but I feel like it's like a Star Trek episode where it's just like, hey, we're gonna make you think about this thing, but we're not gonna tell you this is something that's really going on with people. Or it's just like, hey, it's really stupid that these like black and white faced people are fighting with white and black faced people. Or it's like, hey, it's really stupid that these bunnies are just trying to like live and be themselves and just try to get through life. But it's like, yeah, I would definitely recommend Watership Down. I thank you, Rainey, for suggesting it. And I'm sorry it took so long to watch this now after
Oh,
watching
you
it.
finally did it. That's all that matters.
No, I've got like 6 sets of bunny ears, all on backup, but it's like, nope, I don't even watch the movie.
Well, we got season 2 of the Writer's Locke, and that's Locke with an E. The podcast, we've got that going at the moment, and yeah, I think the next episode should be coming out next week, I think. And also, I've been doing some videos on my YouTube channel. Just look up Rainey J, and yeah, I've got some things planned for the future there as well.
Gotta look you up.
Yes.
Yep.
Rabbit's language.
Yeah, I'm doing a Watership Down video at some stage. I'm thinking I might save that one for when I get my VTuber avatar done up. And
some of our videos like figured out for May, so whenever you do that, we could like release this at the same time if you want.
yeah, I'm working on a like what's airing in Japan at the moment for anime. So I'll do that in the next week or so.
That would be interesting.
Wait,
More anime.
hey Rainey, what is your URL on YouTube?
Oh, I'll find it for you.
I'm on one right now. I don't know if it's you though.
Oh, it's got my little picture in the.
There should
the
be a
avatar.
Godzilla tier list.
Oh, the Showa Godzilla films, was that your latest?
Yes.
Video? Okay,
Yeah.
I found it.
Yeah.
I will subscribe.
Thank you.
Yep.
And speaking of YouTube, Mr. Swell, I think you have a YouTube channel, right? Don't you do something with that?
I do. YouTube.com/Alexander the Swell. I do editorials about Godzilla and gonna start branching off into other things too, like other interests that I have. I have a video that I'm doing that should be out. I want to get it out on my official 15th anniversary on YouTube, which is on the 26th of June. And it's kind of like a mini documentary about how I got started, and also kind of ties in with it kind of ties into being a retrospective on all the Sonic the Hedgehog toy lines, which is kind of weird to say, but like it's something that was very integral to how I got started, because I used to do stop motion animation, and a lot of it involved like video game stuff like Mario and Sonic. Yeah, that should be out in June.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is
I'm gonna
it
talk about the
weird to
McDonald's
look
toys.
back at like 15 years and be like, I went from Sonic to Lizard?
To show the evolution of that, yeah. I upgraded.
Is it from the comic or from the show?
There was one in the comic, yeah.
No, yeah. That so if you ever feel the need, that chili is delicious.
I gotta try. One of my buddies, Vinny, he goes by Super Nintendo 64 on YouTube. He actually did that, and it looked pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie, it looked pretty good.
It's good. That's probably my favorite chili that I've ever made. Like it's very
from the Sonic Archie comic book.
No, yeah,
like that recipe.
like I know it sounds bad because I say that, but I'm actually a relatively good cook. Lora,
Yeah.
like I've made different types of things, but like we made that, we're like, this is good. Like
Damn.
he would that blue furry thing was onto something where it's like, oh, if
I gotta try that. I gotta track that issue
it's like
down.
a cooking collab. I could totally be your like I would need like a special spice to the yeah. It was actually I've actually made it for like my coworkers, and they loved it because we made the Sonic chili, and we made cornbread, and it's very good because it's very sweet because it has like a shit ton of barbecue sauce in it, makes it better. But yeah, if you ever need help with a video, I would totally just randomly cook some
that could be fun
chili for you and then send it all the way to the East Coast. I don't know. I don't presume to know where you live. I think it's on the East Coast.
So because you were like earlier with Rainey, you're like, where can they find you? And I was like, are we giving out our addresses? Like, what are you
Yeah, can you tell us exactly, and your social security number if you don't mind. Like
I'm in Chicago.
Come and find me. You have to search the entire Australia.
I always because I remember you were like, G-Fest. Maybe someday when the world is right, we could all unite at some sort of convention, and we could all hang out and talk about how amazing Watership Down is.
Yeah.
And how great we need more Team Savage, which is I guess this
Speaking
is
of
a
which-
Team Savage reunion.
Yeah, like half of it's here right now, and I gotta say, like, you ladies have actually been pretty nice to me. Like, you guys have not been like insulting, and like it's been a pleasant experience. I mean, I guess like there's still time left, so I don't know.
Aw, a lot of fun having you guys on. We're about we're gonna hit 4 hours, like 2 minutes, and then StreamYard gonna come off. But thanks for coming on. I think
Thanks for the invite. This was great.
Yeah, that was great. I'm glad we got to
you
see
guys
it
have fun.
finally.
Thanks for coming on. Hopefully you guys. I know Rainey's been on before, so hopefully you had fun.
I
Alex
totally
as well.
did.